First step in the process here is we created a template out of cardboard. We created it from the window that we already had. We just taped it to the wall and started tracing around it. This gives us a good starting point so we know where we're going to install the window at.
Sure.
Yep. At this point, we're drilling pilot holes. This gives us an idea of where it's going to be on the outside, because we need to go out and tape the outside to protect the outer edge of the metal from getting metal shavings. So Dad's just drilling a few pilot holes here. From this point, we'll go on and drill the bigger pilot holes.
The battery went dead. Did it really? Yeah.
Once he gets his battery back operational, he finishes drilling the big holes and grabs the jigsaw. And this is where we actually start cutting around the outside. And you may notice there's tape now on the outside of the van. Again, that is to protect the metal from chipping the paint out. You can kind of see it through the holes, the blue tape, and here I am getting ready to go put more tape on to kind of keep it from vibrating so much. It makes it for a better cut. So this takes a little bit of time. It just has multiple starting points, and we just wanted to make sure we had a good clean cut, because this is again going to be the window that we're going to install. So it's going to take us a few minutes here. You will notice there you can kind of see a differentiation in the paint. That is due to we had to take out a structural support bracket that was on the wall. You can see one to the left there. We removed one of those from the center. Otherwise there wouldn't be a big enough spot to place this window. And here I am on the outside. I'm adding additional tape to, again, keep the piece of metal from flapping so hard while Dad's cutting it. This makes for a smoother cut. Makes his job easier. Once we're down to the last little bit, I go ahead and grab onto the piece of metal while he finishes the cutout. This is to make sure that we don't drop it down the outside of the van and scratch the entire side of the van up. So the next stage in finishing is to go around and file all the edges that you just cut. This removes all the tiny burrs and sharp edges. You don't want to leave those on there. It'll end up causing problems for you later on. So I'm just going to file the entire edge all the way around. Just kind of a slow process, but a required process. You want to make sure you're real thorough with this and grind both sides just so there's no excess burrs. The next step in the process is you need to go back and paint the bare metal. So I have some primer, metal priming paint that we use. This is going to keep your van from rusting later on because you do have exposed metal from where you cut it. So you just want to paint all those edges back up to keep any rust from happening. It's just a protective layer. You always want to paint anything after you've cut and exposed the bare metal. It just keeps it from getting more environmental exposure that's not needed. So now we're moving on to prepping the hole for install of the window. So here you can see my dad going around and installing a bead of caulk all the way around it, and then I'm getting ready to place the window in. So once the caulk is installed, then we're gonna push the window into the hole. And that just helps water seal it up because we don't want any leaks inside the van, because this edge is going to be behind the wall. And here I'm holding the window while Dad installs the frame around the outside of the window. And it's got 20 to 30 screws that you need to install. So it's you just go around and kind of install them and throughout the entire window, just so it's evenly tightened at once. So you can kind of see him jumping from one area to the next as he installs them. That's just so it's evenly pulled in and not all pulled in on one side and then you have to go fight the other side. So there is a little groove in the window itself that you're going to screw these into. and the screws actually expand the metal just a touch, just so it catches and holds those tight. Yeah, this is pretty much the entire process for installing this back window. So after all these screws are in, it's ready to go. I appreciate you watching. Please comment down below if you have any questions. Hit that subscribe button and that bell button for notifications. I'm going to continue to post more videos throughout my van process, so I'd love for you to come back and watch the other videos. Thanks again. Have a good day.